Was the Benelux a good addition? Let's talk a little bit about it. Hello guys, once again it's Matt. Thank you all the members and Patreons. And yeah guys, we have the new subtree that we got from the update. And was it really needed? Was it good? That was the idea with this video, right? I flew some of the aircraft out, and honestly there are some amazing things and some things that are kind of weird at the same time. So the first thing is, let's talk about the good stuff, okay? This actually brings new nations to the game, and I think we can all have more of that, coming from a nation that is not really particularly largely represented in the game, which is Brazil. I was really happy with the AMX, even if it's a premium aircraft and stuff. It really is fun to actually have an aircraft that is from your own nation. Maybe people that already have their nations in the game take that a little bit for granted, but at the end of the day, I still believe that people that are from Belgium, that are from the Netherlands, and technically Luxembourg, I don't think there is a vehicle from Luxembourg there, but still, are all obviously happy, and he adds a lot of, I mean, at least in theory, variety to the game, right? At the end of the day, we're gonna talk about it. It didn't bring a lot of variety, but, you know, at least in theory, it should, right? That's, I think, is the main thing that it's good about it. The second thing, obviously, is for the meta of the game itself, right? So France is a nation that is a little bit limited in the options of aircraft, especially for the future. You know, it's not something completely bad, but it is there, and it would be a problem the more we go into the future, right? The problem would be the lack of options to be added to France, and obviously even the performance of aircraft. You know, it's something that, honestly, I think it's even weird that we don't have one for the German tech tree, even for air, because the more we go into the future, the German tech tree will be more scarce and more scarce on options to be added, and the French tech tree is basically the same. We have basically just one aircraft in top tier to actually be added on there, which is obviously the Rafale, right? And I don't think we will see it in the upcoming 2-3 patches, maybe like 3 patches with the last patch of the year. But at the end of the day, even after that, there will be different versions of the Rafale, of course, but it's just the Rafale itself, right? And the Belgians and the Dutch, they bring other things to the table, including very standardized aircraft to actually be a platform for people to actually play with aircraft that are good, you know. Not that the French aircraft are bad by any means, but they are sometimes difficult to play with. They have a learning curve, right? So the actual, you know, Benelux tech tree kind of became kind of a safe haven for people that don't really have, you know, a lot of expertise on flying French aircraft, especially in the mid ranks of jets, you know, or early ranks of jets. Like, of course, with the Spitfires and Fireflies and everything before, I mean, I think the French they were kind of well served. I mean, it's always nice to have a Griffon Spitfire, for example. The Fokker is very cool. It's very different and very competitive actually for the BR if you play it correctly. So in the props, it's very well served. They brought some things that are very interesting and do help the tech tree. But for the jets, I think it's where it actually brings a lot, because the Mystères, the Ouragans, I mean, they are good aircraft, but sometimes people have troubles flying them. And the Meteor Mark 8 is a very safe haven, you know. It's a very standardized aircraft. It's very easy to fly, and it does dogfights very well. The Hunter F6, I mean, the Sabre F86K can be a difficult aircraft to fly. The Alpha Jet can be a hard aircraft to fly depending on your skill, you know. The F100, I mean, yeah, it can be a very good aircraft, but it faces some very dangerous aircraft. The Super Mystère is a difficult aircraft to fly. The Mystère 4A, they're all, I consider, you know, an aircraft that have learning curve. And the Hunter should be a tiny little bit easier, you know. In the ranks 7 as well, 6, 7, right? You know, together with the Mirages, you have another Mirage 5A, 5BA, which is very similar to the Mirage 5 that we already had, but a little bit of a different flavor to it, with different, you know, missiles and flares and stuff, and you know, it is a little bit different. The F104G, I mean, if you are having troubles flying the Mirage F1, the Mirage 3, or something like that, the Jaguar, the Super Tandar, the F104G can be an amazing aircraft. It's very easy to fly, and you can fly it whatever. And for the top tier, of course, it brings a lot as well. The F-16As are very easy to fly, very standardized. So I think for the French Tech Tree, which was an aircraft tech tree that was generally difficult to fly sometimes for maybe the average player, now you have an option to actually do well on them. And then we go for the bad stuff. The bad stuff is stuff that it's difficult. You either have these or you don't have the subtree, which is copy-paste, of course, right? The copy-paste is always going to be there for Subtree, guys. Literally, the only aircraft that is really different here is the Fokker, right? Everything else is the same that other nations have, with some minor loadout and flares and small systems on difference, right? So, it is a little bit, you know, annoying maybe for a player that already has other nations that fly these aircraft to actually have to fly them again, you know, just to get the same aircraft at the end of the day. And it's just kind of like something that people might back off about. But think about a player that has only the French Tech Tree in air. The guy will actually be very, very happy, because now he doesn't need to grind a whole tech tree to fly an F-16 and F-104, a Hunter, right? So it really is something that, even though it is bad, and I understand nobody likes copy-paste, we always want stuff that is different here and there, at the end of the day, it's something that it's hard to avoid in a subtree. And the more we go into the future, the more subtrees we have, the more that will be the problem, right? So overall, I think it's a good addition. It might be a little bit unnoticed, because, you know, it has a lot of copy paste, as I was saying, but at the end of the day, a lot of people can have an option of flying in a tech tree that sometimes can be kind of hard to fly. Okay, guys, so this is my opinion on it. Let me know on yours. And by the way, just a small little thing is that, of course, continue with the Rafale, I'm pretty sure the Dutch and the Belgians subtrees, you know, can receive better aircraft than the F-16AM in the future, which will integrate it to the French tech tree as well, which is pretty cool for top tier. So yeah, but basically this is it. I hope you enjoyed, and bye guys, see ya.